Hi, welcome back. Grama Jean's going to read to you again, and I've got this, I'm ready. I've got my marker ready. We're moving on. We are doing chapter 1, the reading of the will. Oh, can't do it without my eyeballs on. Almost ready, huh? Okay, here we go. And the reading of the will. Excuse me, I thought this was a private reading of the will after the memorial service, Thomas says as he, rather disturbed at seeing strangers in the room. It's late evening, and he is still dressed in his dark suit and white shirt, sporting an Irish green tie to honor his Uncle Charlie. He is surprised and uncomfortable with strangers in the large dining room at Uncle Charlie's ranch house. Charles helped to rebuild the old 1920 farmhouse and made it into a local mansion. The dining room is the biggest room in the house. Charlie had made it that way. He loved to have social gatherings and wanted the room to reflect this. Ella calls it the ballroom because she feels like Cinderella every time they have a dance there. In fact, they have quite a few down-home country dances in this room. The dining room has oak flooring with ornate oak crown molding and a 13-foot tall copper ceiling. It has the biggest bay window that Thomas has ever seen. Big for a reason. At Christmas time, that bay window has annually been filled with the 12-foot tall blue spruce pine, decorated from top to bottom with regal ornaments and handmade children's treasures, with an original angel topper that Charlie had made special. She holds the Star of Bethlehem. At the center of the room is a large oval mahogany table with fine lace cloth that Charlie had brought back from Holland. The bay window has lace curtains that match it, even though he found them later in Vermont. Standing in front of the oval table is Mr. Jones. He is a stocky cowboy-type lawyer of medium height in a fitted dark blue cowboy suit. He answers quietly as he continues to shuffle through the papers he has just pulled from his briefcase, and he says, "These men are here at Charlie's request. They will be recording the reading of the will, making a documentary of the event. You know, your Uncle Charlie and his home movies." Thomas gives an honest laugh as he responds, "Oh boy, do I." Many a time he turned a simple moment on the veranda into an adventure by pointing his little old Bell and Howell camera at us. Oh, Drama Queen took right to it. Just then they hear the front door close and Ella enters the room just like on cue from a script. She is still in her little black cocktail dress with her hair up in a fancy French roll. A little too much for the occasion. Well, what could be said except that's Ella. Right over her heart, she is wearing the large emerald shamrock brooch that her Uncle Charlie had given her when she graduated from college. Ella enters the room with a regal air about her. Her hand tenderly caresses the grand mahogany china cabinet Charlie had gotten in France. As she passed by it, she says, "What do you mean, Drama Queen?" She and Thomas politely laugh, remember their times of play acting with Uncle Charlie, mentioning how it happened out in the barn, or on the veranda, or up in High Meadows, or even out in the garden. Uncle Charles had a way of bringing fun to them in their dreary location. They had both agreed on that, although by the look on their faces they didn't like the idea that they were agreeing on anything. Ella is uncomfortable with the strangers despite her air of royalty, until Uncle Jones makes the introductions all around and explains to Ella why Ralph and Paul are there. and their shoulder-mounted cameras on, following each of them around the room. Then Ella dramatically poses for Paul. She notices he keeps his camera on her. Thomas merely shrugs his shoulder and with dismay and asks, why would Uncle Charlie waste his money on a documentary like this? Ella smiles for the camera and knowingly says, that's Uncle Charlie. For you. Always remember, that's Uncle Charlie. Oh, I got to read this properly, That's Uncle Charlie for you. Always making some of those home movies, so he would say, as he called it, all of those memories. Thomas just walks away from her, disgusted at her flaunting ways. Then Thomas and Ella walk to the mahogany oval table that Charlie had found in New England that almost matches the china cabinet from France. Both are very ornate. Thomas and Ella automatically take their places as though Uncle Charlie was at the head of the table. Thomas to the right and Ella on his left. After all, Uncle Charlie was a southpaw and went on the good stuff within reach. So he could see, oh dear, I lost my place. I moved my thumb. Good stuff within reach. Charles always felt comfortable sitting with his back to the fireplace so he could see the entryway through the ornate oak archway at the dining room entry. He loved to be the first to greet the guests. Mr. Jones begins to seat himself at the foot of the table, which is extended the full way. It's not. When needed, that table can extend out to seat 20 more people comfortably. Now, in the smaller format, only 10 feet long, it is simply set for 8 chairs and centered under the elaborate crystal chandelier from England. Thomas interrupts Mr. Jones and says, "Excuse me, Mr. Jones. Since you are speaking for Uncle Charlie, you should be seated here at the head of the table." Ralph has been standing at the background by the bay window with his camera on Thomas and smiles at Thomas's suggestion. Paul seats himself catty-corner across the table from Ella, keeping a close camera eye on her. Keeping a close camera eye on her expressions and reactions. Mr. Jones obediently moves to the head of the table, leaving the briefcase and his Stetson hat where he had laid them when he came into the room. He takes a very formal-looking document with him. After he is seated, he looks up at both of them, gives them a little sigh, and then begins the reading of the will. Smile every mile to earn your inheritance, not just the land. After both together have walked the perimeter of the ranch, it will be all yours, to do with as you like. Hopefully, you will choose to earn your inheritance. Mr. Jones puts down the paper and looks at each of them. Stunned, Ella says, that's it? What exactly does that mean? Walk the perimeter of the ranch? Paul carefully makes sure he has her reactions on film. Thomas doesn't need to ponder that at all. He rather haughtily answers before Mr. Jones can move on. That means, my dear sister, to earn anything, we have to walk the fence line all around this property. He looks at Mr. Jones and says, "Am I right?" Who answers in the affirmative with a nod of his head. Ella jumps up dramatically and states her case, saying, "I'm not a mountain man that goes around groveling in the dirt. Besides, I don't even like this ranch. Thomas can have it. I'll take whatever is left, trinkets or doodads." She sits back down, pouting. Mr. Jones, with authoritative disclosure in his voice, speaks up. "There is nothing else to be read not to be divided until after you both walk the perimeter. Thomas says quietly with a sigh, I don't want the ranch. I live in Portland. My job and my family are there. Mr. Jones quietly advises, nothing else can be done until you both do it. Ella quickly stands up, all steamed up. She slams the table with her tiny hand and says, then we'll do it and sell this place. It should go for top dollar. Horses and all, I don't like them either. She is Irish temper mad, and now abruptly sits back down in her chair with a stern, determined look on her face. Well, that's it for now. We're going to move right along and tell you folks, we'll start next time right where we were and pick up on Thomas's reaction and what he wants to do. Hey, remember to get your book, just go on my website, GramaJeanBooks.com. Then you'll have a copy and you can follow along and see where I messed up. I changed words here and there a bit. Well, till then, may the good Lord continue to bless you and yours as you go about with gentleness, kindness, and love. Bye-bye now. I'll see you later on. Love hugs from Grama Jean.